Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I'm Brenna Victoria, and on today's video, we're going to be talking about top 10 places I would want to visit because they scare me. Number 10 would be Alcatraz. Did you know that in 1946, on May 2nd, there was a battle known as the Battle of Alcatraz? It happened when 6 prisoners overpowered some guards and ended up stealing their weapons and tried to escape the prison. But when they were realizing that they were missing a key that they needed in order to flee, they ended up taking captives, like some of the officers captives. And for the next 48 hours, there was up to 18 injured and about 2 officers or so that were injured, or that were killed, I'm sorry. But the prison of Alcatraz is one place that I would want to go because it scares me, but it's also because I could investigate and talk to the ghosts and see and hear their side of the story. Number 9 would be the Edgar Allan Poe House in Baltimore. It is rumored that in the early mornings of September 27th, 1849, Mr. Poe had walked off and wasn't seen again until maybe like a week later. When he was found, he was said to be delirious. Someone else said that in the state of being drunk, and he was wearing someone else's clothes. But the house is said to be haunted, not by Poe's spirit, but by a old woman who's dressed in clothing of the early 1800s. And there's also said to be a rumor of hearing a crow crying out in pain. And people think that the story that Poe had written might have become real, but I doubt it. But still, that would be one place I would want to visit because just hearing all the different stories, it scares me, and even to this day, it still sends shivers down my spine. But I suggest if you plan on doing like a haunted road trip, put the Edgar Allan Poe house on your list. Number 8 would be New Orleans. I would want to visit the cemetery where Madame Laveau is buried, because everybody knows that cemetery that she's buried in is haunted, and rumors are that they can see her spirit. They see spirits of other people who had passed on. I remember being in high school, and my English teacher, who's from New Orleans herself, she always told stories about how when her and her husband had lived there all their lives, she had a house that her and her family did not know that was haunted, and she could have sworn she had seen the spirit of Madame Laveau in her house. And then another night she had seen the ghost of a former slave who had missing toes and missing hands, and he even had a missing nose. And another story that's coming out of that is there was a woman who had gone to the cemetery, and she said immediately something felt off, and it sent shivers all over her body. So as she was standing there trying to figure out what was wrong, it came to her that she realized that there was a presence of a man standing next to her when there was no one around her at all. And the next thing you know, she said she turns and there's a man that's coming at her with his arms open, and before she could even run, he put his arms around her and whispered something into her ear. She couldn't remember what it was, but she said it seemed like a curse because not long after she ended up losing patches of hair. She lost sight in one eye. She ended up getting pneumonia for about 3 months straight, and doctors couldn't figure out why she was still sick. But she said that once she moved away, she got better. She healed. But just hearing something like that is enough for me to want to visit, even though that cemetery would scare me, because everybody knows New Orleans is the haunted capital of the world. Number 7 on our list would be the fearsome Fort Cracow Castle in Vancouver Island, British Columbia. I really haven't heard any stories about it, but I have seen pictures coming out of that place, and some of those pictures were actually kind of creepy and scary. But in my investigation on looking up information for this new video, I decided to look up information on this fearsome fort, the Cracow Castle. And there are stories of the man who built it, the Scottish baronial castle, was completed in 1890, but the man had built it for his wife, but she died in 1909. When no one is taking pictures or anything, she is known to descend the main staircase in a ball gown. She has she used to have candles that were tallow candles, and the employees and some tourists and customers who stay there say that they can smell her candle burning. Like, they'll walk by a room and they'll smell that candle. And there's even rumors of hearing a little girl crying in the basement, and when they go to investigate, there's no one there. So I guess the manager wanted to figure out why they could constantly hear a little girl crying, so they set up a camera, and you could apparently see the silhouette of a little girl in the basement, but that video has since been lost, apparently. There's also a piano that's heard playing when there's no one at it. Multiple guests and tourists and customers have said that they'll be in the ballroom or wherever that piano is at, and it will start playing by itself. There's no mechanism for it to start playing by itself. There's no autoplay. There's nothing. They'll just be standing there admiring it or looking around the room, and the piano will start playing. And it has scared some people, but at the same time, it has brought that castle plenty of business. So if that's another place you're thinking of going, I suggest going and putting that on your haunted road trip list. And this one, like I said, is based in British Columbia. Number 6 on our list would be the Revenant of the Rockies, which is called the Banff Springs Hotel, and it's based in Banff, Canada. This place, I desperately want to visit, but with the pandemic, it's kind of hard and not really, anyone traveling. Well, stories go that a husband had murdered his wife and daughter in the hotel there in one of the rooms. And if you must know, the room number is 873. And when the daughter had died, she had left her handprints on the mirror, and no one can ever get the fingerprints off the mirror, no matter how long you stand there and scrub it. There's also rumors of disembodied screaming, and there's also rumors of bloody handprints dripping off the walls. Other stories are of, a family of another family. Their spirits are roaming the halls, and there's also a tale about a headless bagpiper and a bartender who tells guests that they've had too much to drink. One of the most well-known ghosts of Banff Springs Hotel is known as the Burned Bride. She had died when she was dancing on the floor with her husband. It was during their wedding, and her wedding dress had caught fire. And instead of any people trying to help her to put it out, everybody ran and left her, and she ended up dying or being burned alive in her dress. And they said that you can hear music coming from the ballroom where she was married, and you'll see her dancing with her dress on fire. And it's very sad knowing that, But the ballroom has since been renamed the Rob Roy Dining Room and the Cascade Ballroom. So if you're planning on going out of the country to visit, definitely stop in Banff, Canada, and see if you can stay at the Banff Springs Hotel to witness some extraordinary, events. Number 5 would be the raided Inca tombs in Machu Picchu. A professor by the name of Chaim Bingham had become the first Westerner to ever discover the lost city of Peru, aka Machu Picchu. His colleague George Eaton, had helped a second Yale expedition unearth 52 ancient graves in 1912. But it doesn't say anything about, the first, what year the first one was, so they just have it down as 1912 as well. But apparently they had found a female skeleton with her knees pressed to her chest, and everyone assumed that was the body of a priestess. But as soon as they started working on more and more digging to uncover more graves, there were stories among the students, the interns there, saying that they've been they had woken up with strange bruises, strange cuts. They've heard screaming. One intern said that he had gotten so scared because he heard what sounded like Incan warriors preparing for battle, and there was war cries and screaming from women and children, basically being murdered. And it scared him so much that he needed to go to an asylum for basically the next 30-40 years, basically the rest of his life. And the one thing that they're trying to figure out is, why was it abandoned 4 centuries ago? I mean, can you just imagine the ghosts that are there. It's scary. It's like, it would be scary to come face to face with an Incan, warrior that's ready to kill you because you stepped onto holy land. Number 4 on my top 10 places I would love to visit that scare me would be Rapa Nui, which is also known as Easter Island, and it's about 2,300 miles off the coast of Chile. But everybody knows about the statues that they have, and so many people are saying that the statues represent the ancestors or the chiefs that have been long gone, and it is said that people have seen apparitions and heard ancient voices near the Moai. Some other groups have said that the island itself has been invaded by extraterrestrials, and that the statues there have also been, created by the extraterrestrials. And they even found evidence that there have been cannibalism, which, if you look at it, the cannibalism could have been due to the fact that since Rapa Nui had a hierarchy, that the lower part of the hierarchy, like the slaves, could have risen up and attack the royal hierarchies. And there's a movie with Jason Scott Lee and S.A. Morales that basically showed what happened on Easter Island, and it's very sad. It's shocking, but just think of how many lives were taken, both within the hierarchy or the lower. And just think of all the deaths that happened during the construction of each of these statues during all those years ago. They've even found evidence of Polynesian rats who are not the same size as your everyday rat. These things were huge. They've even noticed that some of these Polynesian rats have also committed cannibalism within the ranks of rats. But if you decide to go there, remember to stay quiet, and you'll hear the disembodied screams, and you'll feel the pain, and you'll see the spirits of those that were lost during the uprising. High in the Andes Mountains on the border of Bolivia and Peru is an ancient body of water called Lake Titicaca, and I apologize if I mispronounced that, but the water itself was once a temple, apparently, and it had been flooded to the point where between 8,400 and 900 it collapsed. But it is rumored that there have been sacrifices there, so people have heard voices, they've seen spirits, and it's also a place of other legends of Peruvians and Egyptians meeting and speaking with extraterrestrials there. But someone had spoken to a local there once and asked them about the lake, and the local had once said, if you step foot in the water, you will burn or be cursed. And everybody knows that that doesn't sound good, but just hearing about it really scares me, but it also gives me that adrenaline of I need to go visit. So if you're planning on going to Egypt soon, or Bolivia or Peru, try and make a trip up to the Andes Mountains to visit that temple. For number 2, I know I said that this would be a video on top 10 places that scare me that I want to visit, but I'm going to put this on the list anyways. So for number 2, it'd be the Suicide Forest. I don't want to visit there because it's already bad enough that Japanese folklore scare me, but that's one place I would definitely not want to visit, but I would love to, at least take a picture of the mountain. But just hearing about so many lives, being taken there, it's one place I would never want to visit, but I would just, love to take a picture of the mountain in that forest. So, but everybody else that wants to go can, go and visit it. Just remember to take some sage, bless yourself before you go in and after you come out, and pray to whoever that a spirit does not follow you home. And for number 1, this one is going to be a tie because I couldn't decide which one I wanted to go visit, but because they're both 2 places I definitely want to visit. So for number 1, it would be Hotel Takara and the demonic domain, the ruins of Babylon. So in Okinawa, Japan, there's a place called Hotel Takara. It was a hotel that was abandoned a while back, but in the 14th century it was a castle, and the hotel is known also by the name of the Royal, but as it has become a place where teenagers will do dares and scare themselves, and in the process they ended up creating a story. So anyways, the legend goes that in the mid 1970s, a businessman from Naha had financed the construction of the hotel, and within that hotel there was going to be a water park, a petting zoo, a nightclub, and other things that your everyday citizens would want. But the Buddhist monks there had told him that the site was sacred, but the guy didn't care, so he went on ahead and built it. And if someone complained that they found bones or old tombs, he would just say, just brush it aside and continue working. But because of that, the hotel ended up becoming haunted. Like, it was so dangerous that there was a series of freak accidents. Half of his workmen died, others disappeared. There's even stories of a soldier who had been posted there to watch the building to make sure that no kids, no one would get in, but he ended up missing as well. And now you just see his spirit. And when people had seen his spirit, they said that he's in extremely tattered clothes, like he had fallen down the side of a mountain multiple times, and that his neck was bent in a way that was something you could only see in movies, basically. And it has come to a point where the Japanese government had written warning signs: stay out, that there is danger, that anyone who goes in will be facing a harsh punishment. But that hasn't stopped people. So far, no recent stories or news has come out about it, on it. So that's that's another place I would want to visit. And then the second one, which is the demonic domain, the ruins of Babylon. It was a place of great, of great love, of prosperity, basically. It was where Hammurabi and Nebuchadnezzar once ruled, but it was now a barren land, and there's been like treasures that were buried with it. There was a place that was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world called the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon. That has also been lost to history. But when it fell, there was rumors starting to come out, basically, that the citizens there have seen, spirits. They have seen faceless creatures who have ended up crushing humans that were just sleeping. They have lost multiple, neighbors due to houses just randomly, catching on fire. And that's one place I would love to visit, but it also scares me to even want to visit there. It's just a place of great evil. They said that once you walk in, you start saying a prayer, and any tiny noise that you hear, you freak out and you scream. It's that bad, and it's that scary. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will be back later with more. I'm Brenna Victoria, and if you feel like following me, you can follow me on Instagram at Brenna Victoria 2020. Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my page, as well as hit the bell icon for more notifications when a video is uploaded. And I hope you all have a good day and stay safe.